I'm here on the Canon stand at the photography show with Dave Parry to have a look at some new Canon kit, including this. Dave, tell me more.
So here we have our new mirrorless camera. This is the M50. So this is internally the most advanced mirrorless camera we've got. So you've got fastest shooting, so it shoots up to 10 frames a second. You've got 4K movie shooting on this one, which is a first from us at this kind of level. Yes. We've got it on like the 5 series and this kind of thing, but it's the first time we've had 4K shooting for this sort of level of camera. Now what's great about this is, so as I mentioned, it's the most advanced mirrorless camera we've got, but it's super, super simple to use. If this is the first your first type of camera of this type, or you're moving into this type of shooting, you'll find this very easy camera to pick up and start shooting. You know, you can use it fully automatically, or as you feel more confident, you can start to make your way around the dial and get more advanced with it.
And this is stuff that will be very familiar to existing Canon DSLR shooters in terms of the dial on the top. You've got the same aperture, program, intelligent auto.
Yes, it is, yes. And we're finding that, initially we're aiming this at people who are starting out in photography, but actually we'll find a lot of people with 5Ds or 7Ds going, this would be a fantastic second body or something small and lightweight for them to use in different situations. So you have a variable angle screen on there, so it's our fully articulating 180 degree screen. It's obviously your touch screen as well, you've got touch focus. So I mentioned about the 4K shooting on this. I think this would be of real interest to people who shoot vlogs and this kind of thing, because it's got mic input.
Yes.
So not only 4K shooting, full HD, you've also got the mic input capability, dual pixel CMOS AF as well, our super fast AF system, and you can really nicely with the touch screen, you can pull focus between two areas, which is really, really nice and gives a nice smooth transition between the AF. And
talk to me about the sensor in there as well. What's the megapixel count? What's the size of sensor?
Well, it's our latest generation of sensor. It's APS-C and it's a 24 million pixel sensor. So it really is our latest generation, give you the best image quality that we can produce really at this for an APS-C size sensor camera. It's also well connected. So you've got Wi-Fi, NFC and Bluetooth on here as well. And we've got some new things on here like automatic transfer, which we've never had before on any other cameras, which is where you can set it up to your smart device and without actually doing anything, the camera will automatically back up to your smart device. Which you can turn that off if you don't want to, obviously, but you have that ability, which means all your images are saved. If anything happened to your camera or like that, all your images are automatically saved.
You know, this is really interesting because it strikes me there's a lot of things that are here in the M50 that your customers have been asking for a little while, and they're finally here in this device. It's quite exciting. Tell me about availability and price.
Well, the pricing will vary depending on what kind of kit variation you want. You're talking about around the $699 mark, so it's a very, very good price point for this type of product. And it should be hopefully available by the end of this month, but there's a little bit of, we're not quite sure that. Hopefully it's going to come earlier than that, but it should be by the end of the month.
That was my surprised face just then. That's a really, really good price point. Crikey. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of a play with that in a moment, but not until we've had a look at something else that you've got stashed away. Now, you've given me the expectation to be wowed by this, so tell me what's new.
Okay, so this is the Speedlight 470 EX AI flash gun.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah. So AI stands for, it's basically an artificially intelligent flash gun, okay? Now this is all about bounce flash photography. Bounce flash photography is relatively hard to do. You've got to get the angle dead right to get the right look of your subject. So this works it all out for you. Now the best thing for me to do is to demonstrate this and show you how this works. So you have an added button on the back here, which we don't have on any of our flash guns, which takes you through semi-automatic or full automatic. Now let me show you the fully automatic. So I'll flick this switch over, I'll switch the flash gun on as well, which helps, and I'll switch the camera on. Okay, right, so say for instance, did you see that then? Did you see that?
I saw something on there, I'm not quite sure what it was.
So say for instance, I won't hold up to my face so you can still hear me, but say for instance, if I'm shooting a subject over there, and I go, I know, I want to bounce flash, there's a button on the front of the camera there. If I push that button there, what it's done is it's looked at my distance to subject, yes. It's looked at the distance to ceiling, and set the bounce angle accordingly to give you a perfect bounce shot.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that.
It works it all out, so it does it all for you. Now what's really exciting about this, if I change the orientation, if I go, okay, I'm shooting landscape, actually I'd like to shoot portrait, I'm going to do it the wrong way just to show you so the camera can see it. If I turn it this way, if I press the shutter button again, the flash gun automatically moves to set to that orientation. So it knows and it's kept to the same angle. And it's moving around.
That's something I've not seen anyone else do yet. That's really exciting.
I used to shoot a lot of weddings and things like this before I joined Canon. I have to say the amount of times I'd have the angle set wrong and be moving the camera around and shooting into thin air. This is a fantastic, I think, for corporate work and this kind of thing where you're working quite fast. I think it's a really handy little thing to make sure you get that perfect angle so you don't get shadows under the eyes or you're not using too much power. It's a fantastic addition, I think, to our flash range.
And you can turn off the AI bit if you do want a bit more manual control.
Oh, yep, you can move it around as you could do a normal flash gun. You could also semi-automatic as well, and you can tell it, I want to point at this angle. So say, if I wanted to bounce off that wall there, I've now set it at that angle. If I move the flash gun around, it's automatically, I won't fire into your face, don't worry, but it's automatically changed into that angle and keeping with that, that orientation.
Really, really interesting. Again, talk to me about price and availability.
So you're looking at $449 for this one. And once again, hopefully it should be available by the end of April, but we're moving around with our sales start date, so with any luck it'll come earlier than that.
Canon has brought all of its cool toys here to the Photography Show 2018. We haven't even touched on the C200, which has been out for a little while, but it's only been the first chance I've had a chance to have a look at it here. A lot of things to see and do. Of course, there's a Canon stage too. But for now, Dave Parry, thank you very much indeed.